God is glorious. God has good plans for you and I. And this is an hour that you and I are to celebrate our princes in this world. I know of multitude who happen to live in denial. There are those who have gone to a point of entering to that docket of being hopeless. They've lost focus on who they are. One thing you and I should know is that we are godly. And God has enacted all what we are supposed to have in us. When you and I were born, we were fully packaged. And the same story, the same situation, the same scenario remains upon you and I. All what matters is how you take yourself to be, or you package yourself, or how you identify yourself. Because your heritage and my heritage, they've been channeled from the throne of our God. Okay, I happen to come from Kenya. Today is 16th of November 2024. It's around 7:30 p.m. The day has been so glorious. I've eaten, I've drunk, I'm in good shape, I'm in good health. I don't take all this for granted. My Creator has commanded all this to be part of my portion. I know there are evil powers, demonic one, being channeled from unknown sources, trying to put me down, trying to fix me down, trying to render me powerless. But I thank God because I'm well taken care of. The same is happening to you and I. We have to believe in ourselves, because you are the driver of your life. You are the pilot of your life, and you are the captain of your living. No one will ever come from afar or near to show you how you are to live. Okay, I have this passion, I have this desire today. Yesterday I recorded a video concerning my day-to-day politics in Kenya. There's a tug of war between Catholic bishops and the ruling government, but this is of no concerns to us, because these are just distractions put forwarded unto us, and we all know that Kenyans are facing economic hardships. Our desires are that the people we voted in to be our rulers, to be our leaders, are to strategize ways and means on how to take us out of that messy situations. There are families that are going. They are returned to our beds with empty stomach. There are those who have nothing to show. In fact, pseudo thoughts are all around Kenyans. This is the identity of multitude of Kenyans, and it has to come to an end, because the time you and I realize what is troubling us, that is the day, and that is the time, that is the moment and session that you and I start to win. Okay, I would prefer that we talk on a topic that has been of a thorn in my flesh. I being a mother, because I have kids, I have a family, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, and also I'm a neighbor to someone. But the issue that is at hand, and that's piercing my godly given flesh, concerns a lady who passed on about 2 weeks ago. And this is all how it started. Okay, the lady is about 30 years. She's from my locality. And it all started when she decided, I don't know whether she decided or she was pushed to that situation. Yeah, she ended up marrying into a family where she happened to be the fourth wife of a man. And mind you, where in that family that she got married to, the husband is jobless. And in this place that I'm in, okay, I come from Kilifi County, and I've lived here long, I've realized that men from this locality, they have a tendency of marrying many women. And these women are to assist in every economic issue in their homestead. So if they happen to, in this particular homestead that I'm mentioning, that the lady married to, she was the fourth wife, and each and every wife was given an assignment. And what type of the assignment? You are given maybe vegetables, or even fruits, or even beans, anything that is sowable. You are advised by your husband or even the clan from the family to hawk around. At the end of it all, you'll bring cash, and that is the cash they will use to buy food and to cater for their needs. That is how they live. And how it all ended up is it was in tears, because 2 weeks ago it came to notice to multitude or to our neighbors that the lady who was married there as a fourth wife, and happened to have given birth to 3 kids, though only 2 survived. She was now in her 4th pregnancy. And in these 2 weeks times, 2 weeks ago, she noticed that she was bleeding. Yeah, she was bleeding from her private parts. She took an initiative of visiting the nearby hospital, and when she landed there, she was examined medically, and they realized that her pregnancy was in her 7th month. They couldn't stop the bleeding, and mind you, each and every moment a human being enters into bleeding, whether nose bleeding or even you are bleeding from any part of your body, you automatically became an anemic. An anemic is a situation where one loses blood, and we all know the human blood, or even creatures, the life is hidden in the blood. So what happened when they examined her? They were not able to treat her. She continued bleeding, and they had a tendency of giving a referral to her to a nearby hospital. And when she landed there, the medics succeeded in performing an instant operation. They took the fetus out. Let me call the pregnancy the fetus, because she was in her 7th month pregnancy. They took the fetus out, and the fetus was not had already been unalived because of that situation. And it was so unfortunate, it was so messy and pathetic, because then after the fetus was taken out through operation, the lady continued to encounter the bleeding. In fact, it was hectic, it was vigorous, and she was to be transferred to a 3rd hospital. But on her way, because there was a long distance from the 2nd hospital to the 3rd one, which happened to be situated in a big town, it was a distance. Between there, the lady passed on. Yeah. So what happened? In this the religion that they bury their dead hurriedly, and the next day they did the ritual of resting her body, and the body of the fetus, they were all buried. And it was so pathetic, because the kids who were left behind by the demised lady, they were in a tender age. The first was about 6 years, and the other one was 3 years. And so they were left under the mercy of the other surviving 3 wives, and their dad is still around, but the dad happened to be an old man. This is where I lie all this is where my bitterness lands on. And this is why I don't want to be seen as if I'm blaming anyone, but I'm driving a point back to us women. Yeah, the ball is on our court. Why should a lady force yourself to join a family that you very well know that the vulnerability in that family is in 100% fault? Because it was all open, it was obvious to the demised lady that what she was engaging in wasn't working. Yeah, mind you, before her demise, she had a miscarriage, so she was supposed to have 4 kids, but she had a miscarriage, and so the 4th pregnancy is the one that made her to be unalived. This is the right time for us ladies to use our godly sense, the brains, the wisdom that God has given unto us. Okay, in African countries, many tend to celebrate when they notice that a man is after them, they want to marry them. But this is a right time to do a research. I beg you ladies out there, in fact the whole of Africa, not only in Kenya, I'm from Kenya, the whole of Africa, this is the tendency of many women. You yourself know that you are joining a family that is underprivileged, but you just want to be there, not knowing that that's a channel where you are cutting off your longevity. You are putting a minus to your life. Okay, it happened, and this is the reality. As ladies, we have to be more empowered. Don't put an excuse that you didn't go to school. You have your godly given wisdom, the senses in you. Yeah, if at all you've studied and researched and realized that the man who is claiming to love you and want you to marry you is not able, just be frank, be truthful to yourself. There's a video recorded a few days back that when once become truthful to yourself, that itself it's godly, because no one will come to lie unto you. I know many ladies out there, women, the younger women, even the older one, who have succeeded in gaining their own wealth. It shouldn't be a must that you have to get married in order for you to live a decent life. Yeah, the misogynistics of issues that are entitled in this marriageable issue. I for one am married, but I can tell the world that marriage is not something to celebrate about. In fact, us who are in this marriageable thing, we have to use our brains. We have to be very alert. We have to be very vigilant. Yeah, each and every step we are taking in our life. I thank God because God has given me a family, and they are all well up, they are well studied. But I know how all the avenues and ways and paths that I've passed for me to be where I am. You have to be very sharp. You have to, as I have indicated, you have to be very vigilant and be truthful to yourself. Because there's someone out there who is watching you. You're someone's prayer point. When they see me wearing all the wigs or putting on whatever I have in my head, they admire me, but most of them don't know what I'm passing through. We are all created with godly brains. Let me use the right word. Yeah, be truthful to yourself, because immediately you lie unto yourself, you'll end up in a ditch. You'll end up in pathetic situation. You might end up, and you might also end up your life leaving your kids struggling in this wicked world. Eh? Mind you, God has given us freedom, and this freedom that there are those who are using this freedom in a weird and mysterious ways and mystic ways. This shouldn't be the case. And back to my point, any lady out there, you are ready to get married, you have identified your suitor, do a research to that person. Do it and have your own rules and regulation as per how you want your life to be. You can't be dragged like a chicken being bought from a market, and the chicken that will end up in someone's frying pan. No, you are a human being. You are very precious before the eyes of our God. And mind you, you came into this world with a cause and a reason. You have to leave a precious mark upon this earth that you came on. You have to be what do I call it? You have to be an example to upcoming generation. Because as per the case that I've just mentioned concerning that lady who just took herself to a family that had vulnerability, and she well knew that there was nothing that would come from that family, she agreed to join that family. And I'm very sure that what make her to end up her life in such a messy way is that maybe the kind of meal they were feeding on was not sufficient for her, and she engaged in getting pregnancy in a continuous way. This is also a risky way. It's a risky way to do issues. So it's you and I to apply godly wisdom, to know that we are created for a cause and a reason, that God is watching over us. And before I wind up, let me just apply this one thing. And it was revealed unto me spiritually. Yeah? Okay. If you desire to have the kind of lesson, in my country we call it lesson, These are kind of material. If you desire to have it and it happened to be in a shop, you pray about it. In each and everything that we want to have, we have to pray about it. And mind you, if you have that faith, you've proceeded to be truthful to yourself, you connect your desire, your passion to the one who created you. And this is all what is written in the good books. When you desire to have something, you pray about it, and you proceed to believe that indeed you'll get it. That is the right time that God has already descended unto you. Yeah? So, after praying, just have a time to be patient and wait up for God to answer to you. Because God answers prayers in mysterious ways. And God is not a man to lie. He's a covenant-keeping God. Yeah? And another issue, there are those guys, mostly the men, who are taking women on the altar, claiming to love them till death, and are on their way. They have their evil reasons to desert these women. These men, they don't end up being blessed. There are those who have died they've gone to the early graves because of praying about with the covenant. Covenant is not an issue to pray about with. You'd rather not make a covenant, but rather than make it and you won't complete it. Our God is a covenant-keeping God. He's a promise keeper. Let me just tag the kind of God we have. God created heaven and earth, and God strategized a way that there will be day, there will be night, and we never witness in the interchanges of this. The stars were told to appear during the night time, the same to the moon, and the sun was commanded to come during the daytime, and this has never changed. I, at my advanced age, I've never seen any changes concerning all what I'm mentioning. The mountain was supposed to stay wherever it is. I have never woken up at a certain day and seen a certain mountain in my Kenya identified as Mount Kenya that has shifted from there where it is and has gone to the ocean. And ocean is also obedient. We serve a covenant-keeping God. Each and every time you man goes to an altar and you exchange vows with a woman, stick to that till death. If you happen not to, you are under a curse. A curse that has come from your creator God. It doesn't come from a man. It has come from God. Because you challenged God. You mocked God. Living is spiritual. And we shouldn't be prayerful in all what we are engaging. We should believe in ourselves, trust in our God, and above all, do a research about or concerning the kind of life that we want to live. Everything is individually. Your kid, your parent, your siblings, or even your neighbor, even your friend will never come to you and put a plan upon you on how you are to live. It's all been forwarded unto you. And it all depends the longevity of your life. How you strategize on how you are to live is tagged with the type of the life that the longevity of your life. If you decide to be a thief, don't see yourself living beyond 2 years. They'll crush you, they'll jail you, they'll hang you. If you are a bad leader or a politician, don't expect to be on that office for long, because you are being watched, and a way will be channeled for you to come out of that office. That is all how things work. So let's be truthful to ourselves, and we will live peacefully in this godly given land. It's all done and confirmed and coded.